I want to take a little bit of time and talk about UFC Boston this weekend, so we get some picks for the main event and co-main event.
Yeah.
Maybe save some questions for later in the week because we don't have that much time left here in the studio. So yeah, let's talk about that really quick. UFC Boston, love Boston, by the way. One of the coolest towns to perform comedy in. I will be actually there this winter. Louis J. Gomez presents LouisJGomez.com. Get tickets to all of my tour dates. I'm going to be going everywhere. But here, let me pull up the actual fight card.
Yeah, so it's Chris Weidman versus Dominick Reyes, and Dominick Reyes is undefeated. I'm just looking at Chris Weidman's record here as we're talking. I mean, you got to respect Chris Weidman, right? Honestly, me and Weidman, we went back and forth when I was fighting, and he was the champ, and then I was the champ, and we were both talking a bit of shit. But he's a good guy. Right, he is. He's a good guy. I've never heard anything bad about him other than him talking shit and other than him making fun of my eyes one time on Twitch and posting some fucked up pictures. That was a little shitty. But other than that, we were just competitors and I wish him the best. And as I say, he's a good guy. You got to admire him. I mean, from when he was the champion, he lost to Luke Rockhold, then he lost to Yoel Romero, then he lost to Gegard Mousasi, right? Went on a 3-fight losing streak. But look at those guys, Rockhold, Romero, Mousasi. He got knocked out in all three of those fights. But he's taking on top of the food chain guys time after time after time. And as I say, lost three of them. Then he fights Kelvin Gastelum. Wins in the second round by arm triangle choke. He wins that. Then he fights Jacare Souza. So, I mean, he's fighting only the top guys. So that, and I'm saying this to kind of cushion what I'm about to say, because I think this is a bad fight for him. But again, I respect him so much. Fighting down at middleweight, fighting his last fight. Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, even before. I mean, here's his last fights: Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida, Vitor Belfort, Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Gegard Mousasi, Kelvin Gastelum, Ronaldo Jacare Souza. Right? They're the biggest names in the middleweight division, right? And yes, he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. So he's going up to middleweight, to light heavyweight. But he's taking on a guy that I think is a bad matchup for him. But I respect the fact that this guy isn't looking for a tune-up fight at light heavyweight. He's going straight away into the deep end, taking on one of the top contenders. And if he can do it, just like Darren Till taking on Gastelum, he's doing the same thing, right? If you can pull it off, you can do it. You're instantly a contender in that weight class. I respect it, but I don't think it's going to be a good night for him, Lewis.
Yeah, it's tough. Weidman, I think he's notoriously known as being a bigger middleweight. I think, the problem with that many losses, at 185, reinventing yourself at 205 and going against an undefeated guy where there's not. I mean, look, I think there were some people that thought he lost the decision to Özdemir, right? I think that was like super close. It was a split decision. So I guess there's something there, but at the same time, it's like if I'm his team, I'm like, dude, you're moving up to light heavyweight. There are guys at light heavyweight that are probably easier matchups with at least a little more data on how to beat them that I would have taken. But for that exact reason, yeah, Chris Weidman, bad motherfucker. But what are the odds on this one, Harrington? Do we know? Because this would be a fight that I would definitely bet on Reyes.
Yeah, well, hold on. So yeah, I just want to talk about Reyes a second. So if you look at the record of Reyes, Volkan Oezdemir, or Vincent Prout, Jared Cannonier. See, back in the day when Reyes beat Jared Cannonier, that was just like Jared Cannonier. He'd lost some fights at heavyweight, came down to light heavyweight. Now, if you see him in the middleweight division, he's doing fucking huge things. So that makes that win even better. Prior to that, Joachim Christensen, he's 6'4". He's got a 77-inch reach. Right now, he's not the best wrestler, so that's going to be the game plan for Chris Weidman. It has to be, because I think if he stays on the feet, Reyes, it's just a bad stylistic matchup for him if he can't take him down to the floor. As I say, I respect Weidman's balls here, stepping up and doing this, and I'm not saying it's going to be one-way traffic. Weidman's as tough as they fucking come, and he'll make it a fight. But I'm saying I'm giving an early pick, I'd say Dominick Reyes wins this fight. But go on, Harrington, what were the odds?
Well, if you go over to our buddies at BetDSI, you can get Dominick Reyes at -169 right now.
And what is Weidman?
Weidman, you're getting back at around +140, +150.
So yeah, Reyes is the favorite in the fight, and I think rightfully so. Yeah, look, I'm excited. I've always liked Weidman. It became weird because I became friends with you. So then anybody you were beefing with, I was like, oh, I can't be fans of them anymore. All right, sorry, GSP, my favorite fighter of all time. Go fuck yourself, you French Canadian pussy.
Hey, he did our podcast back in the day. Let's remember. Yeah, no, of course. That's what I mean. Everybody likes Weidman. He's a very likable person. He is, and he's a blue collar guy, and he's worked his fucking ass off, and everything he's got, he's earned. And I wish him the best. And I'm pulling for him. I am. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not going to say it's going to be a one-sided affair. I'm just thinking I'm leaning towards Reyes in this fight, and of course, so is everybody else because he's a big favorite at the bookies. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then
it'll be a good one.
Let's take a moment just real quick and talk about the co-main event, which I think is great. This fight's happening, obviously, it was 3 weeks ago. It was so recent that we saw Jeremy Stephens and Yair Rodriguez. Their fight stopped prematurely just seconds into their opening round due to an eye poke on Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens obviously couldn't continue. Yair very, very upset, very passionate, angry, blah, blah, blah. Didn't want to take the fight again. They rebooked it very quickly. Thankfully, thank God they did. And to be honest with you, now probably people are even more excited to see this fight now. It was the main event before, right? In Mexico?
Yeah. It was the main event down in Mexico, obviously called main event now. We spoke about it at the time, saying they should rebook this fight quickly. They've done that. I'm really happy for them. That was a smart move. And still, for the public as well, it's still fresh in everybody's mind. So the beef has real, you feel like you're almost part of it because you saw this play out in real time. And this week, I took a screenshot of this early because I wanted to read this out when we talked about this fight. Jeremy Stephens speaking to a reporter yesterday, I think it was, on about how personal this beef was, and they asked him how he's feeling. And here's what Jeremy Stephens said. He said, "I feel good, cool as a cucumber, calm like a bomb, ready to go off. I'm going to kill this kid. If he don't die, it doesn't count." Jesus. And I thought that was a powerful statement. He says, if he doesn't die in this fight, it doesn't count. That's what I'm thinking. It's always personal. It's always personal when you fight. This kid's trying to take money off my kid's table. What if I was coming to your house, taking food off your table and smacking your kid? That's the way I look at it. How would you feel if I was to do that? Personal? Fuck yeah, it's personal. It's a fight. But yeah, I thought that was powerful stuff. I like it. I can't wait for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't want actual serious death threats in MMA, but to be honest with you, I love when it happens. I love when they throw one out, and it has become very personal. And to be honest with you, likely going to be a better fight. Now that it's a 3-round fight, look, neither of these guys have issues with cardio, but these guys can really let it all go. Another interesting little fact is in Mexico, it was at altitude. Harrington was breaking down the numbers for me before the show, but now it's basically sea level.
Hold on. Harrington was breaking down the numbers, but what about the guy that actually commentated Mexico City event? No notes, no nothing in front of me. I'll tell you, Mexico City is at an altitude of 7,250 feet, okay? There you go. There's the numbers. Breaking it down for you, baby boy.
Now, hold on. What's Boston's altitude now?
Well, that's sea level because it's right by the ocean. So therefore, I'm going to say it's a difference of 7,200 feet. I think maybe 50 feet above sea level, perhaps. What do you think?
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to take your word for it.
I've never been to Boston, though, so I don't know. Maybe it's not
Boston's
sea level,
a fucking cool town, dude. You'd have a good time in Boston, Michael Bisping. You would move there. You would not leave Boston. You would get hammered. You'd be like, these are my fucking people, and you would just let them carry you off into some fucking crazy Irish
we
pub.
Have less than 24 hours to make it happen because tomorrow my life changes forever. You know what I mean? So I'm on the next plane to Boston. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Until he gets a painkiller addiction, which is definitely going to happen as soon as the doctor prescribes him fucking Oxycontin.
No,
so good luck, Michael Bisping.
No, it's not. Trust me. I'm limiting all that type of stuff. Yes, of course, I'm gonna have to take some pain medication, but I gotta be careful with that shit. So honestly, be a different me. But back to the fight. I can't wait for this one. It's awesome. It's great. The only thing is, as you said, it's definitely going to deliver, which I agree. I think it will. The only danger is that perhaps there's so much at stake now, and it's got so personal, and they've been in an octagon with each other twice now that they both might be very cautious and hesitant to make the first move. But I think once they get past that initial feeling out process, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a fight.
They're killers. They're both killers that without any heat, without any fucking fuel thrown on the fire, without anything being personal, neither of these guys have ever been in a boring fight, right? So now with the passion and the energy and the anger, I couldn't imagine. But you never know, dude. Sometimes you think that and then it shits the bed because whatever, the nerves, they've built it up maybe in their mind so much. But I could not imagine this not being an early fight of the year candidate.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the fight with Francis Ngannou and the Black Beast Derek Lewis, everyone was so excited for that. And that was like the biggest example of a fight that everyone was hyped for that shit the bed. It was like one of the worst fights maybe you'll ever see. Maybe the worst. Like there was hardly any punches thrown whatsoever. But this one won't do that. Listen, I can't speak about Yair Rodriguez as much because I don't know him personally, but I know Jeremy Stephens. You know what I mean? I've been around him a lot. You know, I've partied with him a few times. I just know the type of man he is. I know the cloth that he is cut from, right? He's a wild man, right? He's a natural fighter. He's a proper fighter. He's the type of guy that if shit goes down for real on the streets, Jeremy Stephens, you want him on your fucking side. He's that type of guy. So regardless of the moment, regardless of the pressure, he's going to fucking throw down, which means Yair Rodriguez has no choice but to react. So I give you the Michael Bisping guarantee that this fight will be potential fight of the night.
Fight of the night.
Fight of the night. They're all potential fight of the night.
I will give you the Michael Bisping guarantee that this will potentially be rain in the next month.
Yeah, potentially.
Today's highlight clip is brought to you by Monday.com. Monday.com is a project management tool that makes organizing and tracking work projects super easy. The platform is suitable for any size team, from 2 freelancers working together to thousands collaborating across the globe. If you go to Monday.com/believe, you get a 14-day free trial.